Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Saturday night, it's time again for boxing on the zone, or early Sunday morning in South Africa time. There is a new sheriff in town in the lower, smaller weights, and I'm talking, of course, about Jesse "Bam" Rodriguez, who will be going even further down in weight to the flyweight division to fight Cristian Gonzalez of Mexico for the vacant WBO flyweight title. If you want to hear more about Bam Rodriguez, if you are interested in that fight, stay tuned. Jesse Rodriguez, nicknamed Bam, is an exciting new young fighter that burst upon the scene in 2022. He had a real breakout year that lifted his profile tremendously. His big break came when he fought Carlos Cuadras, the veteran whom we know for his fights against Juan Francisco Estrada and Chocolatito Gonzalez. He fought Cuadras for a vacant WBC junior bantamweight, or super flyweight if you will, title, and he prevailed and he won a 12-round war against the veteran. Then he ended up defending it against the Thai tank, which is, of course, Cesarket Sorungvisai, the guy who knocked out Chocolatito, and he had a tremendous performance stopping Sorungvisai in 8 rounds. In his last title defense, he didn't look that impressive against Israel Gonzalez. Maybe it is because he was fighting a lower profile opponent, but nevertheless, he won a decision. Now he's moving down in weight to the flyweight division, and he is taking on Cristian Gonzalez. Now, Jesse Rodriguez, there's a reason they call him Bam. He's 17-0 and he's got 11 knockouts to his name. So he can bang a bit. He's a boxer puncher. He hits hard to the body and to the head, as we saw how he knocked down Cuadras earlier in their fight. And there's some power there with Jesse Rodriguez. Now, his opponent, Cristian Gonzalez, known by some as Cristian Gonzalez Hernandez, is a relatively unknown Mexican fighter. It's sort of like Steven Onchinga's opponent the other day, Hector Flores Calisto. You don't know how good they are until you see them in the ring on the big night. Now, Cristian Gonzalez is not your typical Mexican fighter. He's one of those guys who, from the limited footage that I could find of him, maybe he has different styles, but from what I could find, he's a guy who's a stand-up boxer. He stands straight up, he uses his left jab and his right hand to good effect and comes over with a left hook. He'll throw a few body shots when his opponent comes in close, but he likes to stand up and box from a distance, not that typical slam bang Mexican style. And he has got a record of 15 wins, 1 defeat, and he's only got 5 knockouts, so he is not a big puncher. Now, if I look at Jesse Rodriguez, there are things where you can beat him. He's potentially an elite level fighter. He'll still have to prove that. But there are ways you can beat him, I believe, even though he's undefeated still. Against Israel Gonzalez, Gonzalez stopped hitting the head because Rodriguez has very good head movement. Excuse my voice there, it's going again, still not 100% healthy. But Rodriguez has very good head movement, so it's tricky to hit him with a jab. He steps away from the jab or he slips it. And Israel Gonzalez in the last fight was countering to the body of Rodriguez, and that worked. When he got really close to Rodriguez and he hit the body, it worked there for a while. But in the end, Rodriguez moves well. He can fight on the inside, he can fight on the outside. In the end, his power took over and that made him win the fight. Now, I think the dilemma for Cristian Gonzalez is he's going to have to box. He's going to have to keep the fight at a distance. And Jesse Rodriguez sometimes takes a round or 2 off. And if you can maintain a high work rate round after round, that might be in your favor. So the challenger is going to have to maintain a high work rate. He's going to have to keep it on the outside. But the thing that worries me is he's more of a head puncher than a body puncher. And he does everything off his jab from the footage that I could find of him. So Jesse Rodriguez, Bam, slips that jab. He steps around it, and I don't think Cristian Gonzalez has got the style ready to beat Jesse Rodriguez, because Rodriguez is going to get in the inside of him, and once he's there, I don't think he's going to have the power to keep Jesse Rodriguez off. There's also a question about how the step down in weight will affect Bam Rodriguez. If I look at him on the TV screen physically, it's hard to tell on TV, but you can compare to the opponents. Carlos Cuadras looked a lot bigger than him, and even against Israel Gonzalez, Jesse Rodriguez doesn't look like a big junior bantamweight. So I'm taking an educated guess here that the move down to flyweight isn't going to hurt Jesse Rodriguez much. He will have more power as a flyweight. So in the end, I don't think Cristian Gonzalez Hernandez has competed at the same level against Jesse Rodriguez. So that is obvious. He hasn't got names like Cuadras and Sorung Visa on his record. And it's a big step up for him. Coming out of Mexico, fighting in San Antonio, Texas, that will be a pro Jesse Rodriguez fight crowd there. And I think this is more or less a title grab for Jesse Bam Rodriguez. I'm very interested in seeing how he progresses and what he's going to be like as a flyweight. But I think Cristian Gonzalez is tailor-made for him. So I expect Jesse Rodriguez to take a few rounds and then break Cristian Gonzalez down to, let's say, sort of a middle round stoppage, somewhere around round 7. That's where I think 6 or 7. That's how long I think it's going to take for Jesse Rodriguez to break through and stop Cristian Gonzalez. But sometimes we get big surprises coming out of unknown fighters from Mexico. So you never know. That's why they fight the fights. I must mention that the main event on the card will be the Uzbekistani star Murodjon Akhmadaliev. He is the unified WBA and IBF junior featherweight champion of the world. He will be defending his titles against a Filipino, Marlon Tapales. Tapales, we know, is a very tough fighter. It's a serious challenge for Akhmadaliev. I think it will be competitive. But when Tapales has stepped up, he ended up getting stopped in the late rounds. And I kind of think Akhmadaliev is going to do the same. Maybe he can last the distance. I think it will be competitive. But I think Akhmadaliev is going to win that fight. And he's, of course, for one half of the junior featherweight division. The other half, who's got the WBO and WBC titles, is, of course, Stephen Fulton. The fight has been postponed with Naoya Inoue, but a new date has been set. So Fulton is going to fight Inoue. And all what Akhmadaliev has to do is to keep winning. And assuming that Inoue can get past Fulton, which is not at all given, Inoue fights everybody. The monster is not afraid. And then Akhmadaliev will find himself in a big payday against monster Naoya Inoue. So that's also interesting on the card. So guys, tell me in the comment section, what do you think of Jesse Bam Rodriguez? Do you think he's a potential elite fighter? Do you think he can go still further in his career? What do you think of this fight? And how do you think the move down to flyweight will affect him? Also, let me know, what do you think of Murodjon Akhmadaliev, the Uzbekistani star? Is he better than Stephen Fulton or not? And how do you think he will go against Naoya Inoue? So that's it from me, guys. I think Bam Rodriguez is going to win by mid-round stoppage. I think Murodjon Akhmadaliev is going to keep his title. And if you've watched this far, please remember to give the channel a thumbs up and punch that subscribe button. I will greatly appreciate it. And until we see each other again, remember to keep those hands up.